Welcome to Variant Edition, your source for comic book news and culture. I'm Eddie.
And I'm Lewis. Now, this past weekend was the San Diego Comic-Con. Now, unfortunately, we couldn't make it in person, but we'll still be able to let you know what the important news was.
We're going to try to make it there next year, but hey, it's not like we don't have any con coverage already.
Yeah, this week we finally put up our coverage of Wizard World Philly. And then Kevin said he's got an interview with Michael Golden finished, so that should be up within a week or so.
And we're happy to announce that we will be attending the Baltimore Comic-Con in September. We're still working out the details, but we should be filling you in on them in the next few weeks.
Okay, enough about cons. Let's get to the comics.
Here's your 5 minutes of comic book knowledge that will prepare you to step into your comic shop this week.
Every year, hundreds of thousands of fans flock to San Diego, California for a 4-day orgy of comics and pop culture. Yeah, I know it's not that enticing of an image given our take on con hygiene, but trust us, it's a massive event that shapes the year to come in both comics and movies. All the major and most of the minor publishers pull out all the stops and book space to hawk their upcoming projects. Movie companies have all but taken over and set up huge panels premiering sneak peek footage of upcoming releases. This year saw the release of The Dark Knight teaser trailer after an army of Jokers descended upon the convention. Harrison Ford addressed a panel via video from the set of Indiana Jones, and even Warner Brothers and DC got in on the action with a special premiere of the upcoming Death of Superman. Over at the Marvel booth, the collision of movies and comics continued with a Saturday unveiling of Iron Man Mark I armor. San Diego was so huge that it sold out 3 of the 4 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the first time in its 38-year history. While they have not released the official attendance numbers, we expect it to be at least 140,000, up from last year's record of 123,000. Alright, enough about the con. How about some news? Well, we're going to do this lightning round style. Expect more in-depth news in our next half-hour Variant Edition. Virgin was busy making announcements, including the first of its sci-fi partnership in Stranded, by Mike Carey, and will release Doc Walloper with Ed Burns in May. But the biggest pun potential comes from Jenna Jameson announcing a comic deal with Virgin Comics. We'll let you figure out your own punchline for that one. Expect more Kirby from Image. Image Comics has plans to release 2 new series using the King's characters. The Amazing Spider-Man will have 4 regular creative teams, including Bob Gale, Mark Guggenheim, Dan Slott and Zeb Wells on words, and Phil Jimenez, Chris Bacalo, Steve McNiven, and Salvador LaRocca on pictures. Warren Ellis and Simone Bianchi will be replacing Joss Whedon and John Cassidy on Astonishing X-Men. J.G. Jones will be illustrating the upcoming Final Crisis. Jeff Loeb will cross over the Ultimate Universe in Ultimatum. DC will be publishing a Heroes comic. Mark Waid moves from DC writer to editor-in-chief of Boom Studios, and well, that's enough for today. Stay tuned for upcoming episodes of Variant Edition for more news and in-depth look at some of the newly announced comics.
The last few weeks have been really hard on the wallets. The amount of books coming out in anticipation of the San Diego Comic-Con was massive. This week we should see a little bit closer to a normal release week. The epic Dark Tower Gunslinger Born wraps up this week with number 7. There's still a few variant cover reprints and a guidebook coming out, so it's not completely over yet. The Irredeemable Ant-Man marches towards its last issue. That's right, guys. Next month's number 12 will be it. So remember, Ant-Man fans, it's time to buy the digest and start a letter writing campaign. But it's not all about endings. Marvel also sees the release of Ms. Marvel number 18, New Avengers Illuminati number 4, New Warriors number 3, Fantastic Four 548, Shaun of the She-Devil number 1, Uncanny X-Men 489, and Thor number 2. DC fans should take note that while we mentioned Justice Society of America 8 last week, it was bumped and should be coming out this week. Along with Action Comics 853, Black Canary number 3, Detective Comics 835, Supergirl number 20, and the beginning of a 5-week series, Outsiders, 5 of a Kind, Nightwing, and Boomerang. But it's not all about the big 2. We give props to the non-cave scene as well, and it's a big release from Archaea Studio Press with Awakening number 1. We chatted with the creators Alex and Nick back at Philly, so check out the interview later this week. Then run out and pick up the book. Also, be on the lookout for Welcome to Tranquility number 9, Exterminators number 20, Faker number 2, Chronicles of Wormwood 6, and 2 more Archaea Studio Press releases, Inanna's Tears, and Oko Psycho Water number 4. I know Nick and Kevin are looking forward to this week's hardcore release of Elephant Men Wounded Animals, but me, it's all about the Hulk. World War Hulk number 3 hits this week, and there's no looking back.
All right, that's it for Brand Edition Tuesday this week. We covered a little bit of the mountain of news from San Diego, but rest assured, Kevin's burning up the keyboard prepping even more stories for our next episode.
And remember, Tuesday is comics and news, and later in the week it's a half hour of news, reviews, and comic culture.
Which I guess is our not-so-subtle way to plug our regular half-hour episodes of Variant Edition. And this week, it's our epic Wizard World Philly episode.
Plus, we've got quite a bit up our sleeves, so it should be a pretty interesting August.
Of course, the last couple weeks we've been wrapping up with a promo from Comics Podcast Network. It's a great place to find out about other podcasts about comics that are out there.
Yeah, so stick around after the credits.
So don't forget, there are quite a few ways to watch us: iTunes, Vimeo, YouTube, and Google Video. And don't forget our new high-res feed from Blip TV. Or head over to variantation.com and watch us on our page.
Well, that's it for Variant Edition Tuesday. We'll see you next time.
Totally stumbled on words.
Hey there, folks. My name's Ian Levinstein, host of the Comic Timing Podcast over at SpeakGeekSpeak.com/Comic Timing. Comic Timing is a roundtable discussion podcast with a rotating panel of guests. So rather than me talking through this entire promo, here's some random snippets from the show with as many people as I can possibly find on my hard drive that have been on this show. And I don't even want to count how many that is.
Mr. Cole, bullshit, I'll grant it.
But aren't they all?
What is he wearing, Ian?
You have won a brand new Skype.
Yay!
Yeah, you, me, and a brick the next time we're in New York. I was going to say that in 1 year, this recording is going to end up in some court report, Like
I've actually been on other people's podcasts more than I've actually done my own in the year 2007.
Well,
I know that feeling.
Her name is X-23. I mean, she's got to live her life as X-23.
It's very good because it's not written by Daniel Way. This is Batman.
Yes, I love punk.
You just can't put a cow on the logo.
Exactly. Interested in finding out how these things actually play into the context of the show? Well, go ahead and listen to it. It's over at SpeakGeekSpeak.com/Comic Timing. You can find us on iTunes, and we are all over the place on all your podcast aggregators and the works. So go ahead and check out Comic Timing, and remember, as always, there's always time for comics.